Alright, how's it going guys? It's AlphaYGO back at it again, and today I'm bringing you a very spicy profile. If you haven't already guessed it, it's Dracopals. We're actually a modernized version of Dracopals. We take a lot of old concepts of how the deck used to operate back in its prime during maybe in the Cosmo format, and mixing it with brand new cards. It's actually a pretty interesting dynamic of how the two work together, but it's really cool how the deck is shaped in this current format. Also, update is for the people who've been asking for an updated dino profile, that is coming up. I have a trusted friend of mine who's a very competent dino pilot working on a profile, and I'm just gonna grab it from him, I believe this Sunday, and hopefully get it to you by Monday. If not, I'll just recreate it. Stay tuned for his profile because I think you guys will really like it. But without further ado, let's move on. Starting up our lineup is, as one would expect, Time Gazer and Chronographs, because what's a pendulum deck without turbo cards? Chronograph needs no explanation. You're also running 3 Dark Room and a Gate 0. This deck actually pumps out level 4s like it's nothing, so Dark Room actually plays a very strong role in this, as well as the fact that since we're running Draco Slayers like Luster Pendulum, it's also fitting that with 3 Dark Room we can easily use the Guard Dragon package to our advantage. Moving on from there, we have 3 Curtain Raiser, just another extender at level 4, very powerful for the deck. And of course, the reason we play this deck is the fact that we have 3 Luster. My apologies for some of the proxies that I've had to use. I guess they don't look too bad, but at the same time, I'll make sure to get every card I need for future profiles. I just really wanted to bust this profile out real quick, and unfortunately I couldn't find every single card I needed. But the reason we play triple Luster is because we get to use triple Guiding Ariadne, which when popped will basically search us a Solemn card. So we get to use this at least like 3 times in our optimal combos and search out 3 Solemn cards, so like Judgments, Strikes, etc., which is absolutely fantastic. And at the end of the video I'll show you a combo of how this goes. Speaking of that, for the actual Performapal part, we have 3 Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer, but he's very powerful because he gets to pop 2 and we get to search Performapal cards, and we can also pop Ariadne with this effect and just keep on the pluses. Speaking of pluses and Performapals, we are also running Performapal Guitar Turtle and Lizard Jaw, because at the end of our combo it's a +2, so why not? And we do run a small Magician package, so 2 Harmonizing, 2 Purple, 1 Black. And the reason we run these Magicians is because we only want a small engine because our plays aren't focused around them, but if we draw them, they just enhance all our level 4 plays, because obviously dropping Harmonizing is like an instant rank 4, so why not? From that, we run 1 Aether. The reason we run Aether over stuff like Sloth in this profile is because since we're already searching off Solemn cards, we don't really need something like Sloth that helps in preventing summons, because we're already stopping the summons anyways. And the fact that unlike other profiles where we run like a decent count of high monsters, let's say like in other pendulum builds we run stuff like Jackal King and etc., we can tribute summon over that Sloth if we feel like we're locked into that Sloth too much, and we have a way of outing our own Floodgate. But in this, since we only run basically level 4s only, unfortunately we run into situations where we can't actually out our own Sloth, so we just run something like Aether, where it's just that second disruption with Heavenly Spheres is more than enough. And for that one non-pendulum monster is Destrudo, just for the sake of Guard Dragon plays, and can get us a Dragster at the end of our combo if we wish. Moving on to spells, we run 3 Duelist Alliance. Duelist Alliance is particularly powerful in this because we get to search Luster Pendulum off it, so we're basically playing 6 copies of him. Moving on, we play 2 Pendulum Call. The reason we run 2 Pendulum Call is because the deck isn't primarily focused around the Magician engine as much, but there's just power plays and they're kind of just complementary to our main game plan. I know it's very weird to see 3 Duelist Alliance and 2 Pen Call, but for this deck it actually works out pretty well for this ratio. And just an easy way to access our Dark Worms is double Dragon Shine, 1 Foolish. I think in this list it's fine to run this count because seeing Dark Worm just basically lets us auto win, because seeing your Guard Dragon plays and setting up a mini Guard Dragon combo and setting up a bunch of Solemn cards is very powerful. So I feel like it warrants this amount of starter cards. And wrapping up the end of our list, we have 3 Judgments, again sorry for the proxies, and 2 Strikes. We only need these much because you will reveal 3 at a time, get 1 back, and you're gonna do this like 3 times or so, and you'll end up usually like revealing 3 Judgment. They'll have to pick 1 Judgment, and the next time you'll probably like show them like these next 3, and then most likely they'll just give you a strike and etc. And with the way that you get to draw 2 at the end with your Dracopal and draw one off Electromite, you have a decent chance of drawing the other that you don't get to search off. So this is actually like an optimal amount to run, as well as this deck. These 5 are your quote-unquote garnets, and this is the one deck where your garnets are actually not garnets, because when you draw them, they're still game-changingly strong cards, right? So that's why I kind of like this deck, because your quote-unquote garnets are actually the most useful garnets you could ever imagine. So I think this deck is really saucy like that. Moving on with our list, we have obviously Electromite, one of our ways to pop Ariane and get ourselves an extra solemn card, and just many pluses. There's a random link to like B-Cup, or you can be Lambda. We also run the Guard Dragon combo with LP, Pain, Triple Burst, Hieratic Spheres, and although I don't have a copy of her yet, and I have the proxy, 1 copy of Apollo Ursula, because when you just pen summon everything out, you can just link away into her, and it's basically 4 negates alongside all your set cards, so she's very powerful. And of course our Game Ender, Portal Sword, because we'll just spit out all our level 4s over and over, so it's very easy to access him constantly. The monster that we summon with our Guard Dragons, and because we accumulate so many level 4s on the board at the same time, we can just run as many rank 4s as we want, so something like Dweller, Tornado Dragon, and for this example I'm just running Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion. You can run just about any other rank 4 you like, you know, Giant Hand, Storm Nightmare, etc. So it's up to you, honestly. Of course we run the 1-down Dragster, because we have this Strudel, we can enter that level 7 Synchro if we like. Because we're running Draco Slayer, why not run Ignister? It's actually very synergistic with the deck, because you get an extra body on board, you just spin stuff back, it's fantastic. And just a random example like the Supreme King Clearwing. So again, you can change around some of the extra deck monsters as much as you like. Since you're just using level 4s a lot, you can just go ham on all the rank 4s that you like. Alright, so for this combo, we're just going to demonstrate the optimal situation where we're allowed to pop Ariadne 3 times and netting ourselves 3 solemn cards. But obviously your hand will differ, and the amount of times you get to pop Ariadne will differ with those hands, but I'm going to show you basically the way it's essentially done. So all you need is Luster and Ariadne, and basically 2 cards that let you access Electromite. So whether it's a turbo card and a normal summon, or etc., or 2 turbo cards, it doesn't matter as long as you have a way to get into Electromite early. So for example, we will activate Dragon Shrine, sending ourselves a Dark Worm. Dark Worm will special himself, getting ourselves a Gate 0. We will normal summon Curtain Raiser. I'll just try to squeeze them in like that so you can see the extra deck. Go into our Electromite. Electromite will send ourselves a Pensork. From that point on, you can do this 1 of 2 ways, but it doesn't really matter. So let's just activate Ariadne, effective Electromite, pop Ariadne. Saying into extra deck is add the same Ariadne back. We can net ourselves a draw, and because Ariadne was destroyed, we will reveal 3 solemn cards, and of course they have to pick the Judgment here. From that point on, we have the same Ariadne that we used prior. We're going to scale her, scale Luster. Luster will activate its effect to destroy this Ariadne, getting ourselves a new Ariadne in hand, and because of the destruction of that Ariadne, we get to reveal another 3 solemn cards. Most likely they don't want to give you another Judgment, so let's just pretend they give us a strike. So at this point, so the reason why it doesn't really matter if you had Dark Worm or not, you could have had Chronograph, whatever, because regardless, we're just going to scale the Ariadne that we searched off the Luster prior, and at this point, we can just pen summon out what we wish. So let's just pen summon out Dark Worm here, and Sork there. So there's a lot of ways this play can differ, because right now if we do it like this, we can use his effect to pop both of these, net ourselves a lot of advantage, or for example, let's say you already had a Pensork in your hand and you can pen summon here, and you can bring yourselves an Ariadne. It'd be just good to pop this Ariadne instead, because keeping Ariadne in scale is actually very powerful, because we don't have to pay any of the cost for our solemn cards. But for the sake of this example, let's just say that we want to go full advantage mode and just go with it. So we're going to use this effect to pop both the Ariadne and the Luster, getting ourselves a Lizard Drop, getting ourselves a Guitar Turtle, and because Ariadne was destroyed once again, we'll reveal 3, and let's just assume they want to give us a strike again. So our hand has 2 Performapal cards, One card we drew off Electromite. Gate 0, it could be there because of Dark Worm, but it might not be because we use a different turbo card. It doesn't really matter. And we have netted ourselves 3 solemn cards because we popped Ariadne 3 times. So, and then let's just say for the sake of argument, we scale both the Performapal cards. Guitar Turtle will let us draw 1. Loser Draw will let us destroy himself to draw us another one. So our hand is looking like this right now. 3 unknowns from 2 cards drawn off the Performapals, 1 off Electromite, 3 solemn cards netted off of Ariadne, and well, Gate 0 is just, he's the situational card, right? We might have him, we might not have him. And from this we have plenty of setup because not only do you get to set these 3, we have just enough here to enter our guard plays. So I'm sure many people here have seen this combo before, so I'm just gonna zoom right on past. So yeah, if we have an extra body on the board, we can use Destrudo to make a Dawn Dragster. If we saw something like harmonizing with another summon, we'd go into something like Dweller. But at the end of the day, we're just like, let's say with bare minimum, this is what we have. We have a bounce that goes into Aether, an Omni Negate, 3 solemn cards, and we still have at minimum 3 cards in hand. The rest of your hand will depend on which turbo cards you open and whatnot, but at the end of the day, this is basically how the optimal combo kind of goes, where you get to loop Ariadne 3 times, and it's super fun because your opponent just sitting there like, imagine having to deal with Pendulum's regular boards, because honestly, like, because this is just a minimal demo of how it kind of goes with the hands you have, when you end up with boards like this, or sometimes even like boards like this, it's kind of like, well, actually it'd be more like this actually. If you end up with boards like this, it's like, this is the regular Pendulum board, but with even more negates in the back row, and it's not like Spirit Mode or Super Poly can solve this because you just have these 3, and so it's like, it's really annoying for people to get around. So that's why I actually really think this deck is super fun and super cool and somehow viable in this meta. So this is kind of how I wanted to showcase it off to you guys. And with that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.